In the Roman Republic, there are three main powers: the dictator, the plebeians, and senate. Those three powers are all in balance, which is why it is called the Roman Republic. Pompey was the last leader of the Roman Republic, because Julius Caesar, a war general at the time, decided to kill Pompey and take the power for himself. This ended the Roman Republic. So, in my commercial, I first started off by talking about the three powers that are in force in Rome at the time. They were the dictator, the senate, and the plebeians. The reason those three are all in power are because the dictator is kind of like the king, the ruler of everything, but they have checks with the senate and the people. If the people are unhappy, they can riot and destroy the government and do whatever they want. Otherwise, there's the Senate, which has checks on the king so that he doesn't have all the power, and they can kind of control him in a way of checks and balances. Then I went into talking about how Pompey was one of the last Roman Republic rulers, and how Julius Caesar killed him and became the dictator and the head of the Senate. So he had two powers in control, ending the Roman Republic, and then I showed the gravestone, which was kind of just the finalization of the end of the Roman Republic.
Hello, this is a PSA about the life of Julius Caesar and how he ruined the Republic of Rome single-handedly. Julius Caesar was born into a patrician family who actually claimed to be from the goddess Venus. Not that one. The goddess. Yeah, that goddess. Anyway, he had a sister named Julia, and when he was 16, his dad died. In order to pay for his family, he shipped off to Rome's army. When he got back from war, he bought a little house in the suburbs of Rome, after which he was shortly kidnapped by pirates. Yeah. Anyway, he was running for consul at the time, and he did win. However, after he was in political debt and financial to two people named Crassus and Pompey. In order to pay them back, since he had 4 legions at his command, he did the completely rational thing and said, hey, I'm going to go and conquer a bunch of places for money. His actions led to the suppression of the Gaul people and the Gallic Wars. While all this was going on back in Rome, people were on the edge of a civil war. They were arguing about a lot of stuff, everything. In order to stop this, Pompey was appointed sole counsel for security of Rome. While in office, he began to realize that, hey, Caesar was sort of too powerful. And since Julius Caesar's terms of office were coming to end, he told him to disband his army. Caesar basically just said no. Because of this, he divided the people and called Caesar a traitor, to which Caesar got really mad about it, and he invaded Italy across the Rubicon River, which started a huge civil war. Pompey and a lot of the senators were in fear for their life at that point, so they fled from Rome and to Spain. Caesar found out about this and made Mark Antony the ruler of Rome for a short time. Benefits of being friends with a dictator, I guess. After killing Pompey, he became the supreme dictator of Rome and ended the Republic of Rome and started an empire. Until about 63 of your friends' colleagues assassinate you. So, what did the Republic of Rome do wrong in this situation? Two things primarily. They didn't have many rules about how their military was going to be handled by other people, and they let the wealthy people have their own sort of personal armies that they could do whatever they want with. Essentially, you need rules to your military. This is critical. The Founding Fathers actually thought about this a lot, and it's what the good old US of A does. The use of our military is under strict control, and that's a great thing. As proved by Julius Caesar, who turned the Republic of Rome into an empire.
Tonight's program has been brought to you by
So I started off with the example of how the story of Julius Caesar is a representation of how the military needs to be controlled, because that's what happens when you have a runaway military. He just took over the whole democracy and made it a dictatorship.
So after Julius Caesar was killed, Mark Antony and Octavius Caesar, who was Augustus later, they first started a war to kill Brutus and Cassius, who were two conspirators. And later, the relationship between Octavius Caesar, who is Augustus, and Mark Antony became bad, so they also started war. And Augustus later on winning. So, and this war was a civil war. So after, which is definitely a bloody war. So after the civil war, Octavius first rebuilt the Rome and make it a continuous successful city, art city, and also he entitled himself for the leader of or the control of many different offices. So he used this method to avoid the same result as Caesar, so he wasn't killed. And also, again.